Namaste, Jai Bharat. As you know, the geopolitics is always very interesting area, confusing also, interesting also, appalling also most often. We've seen that if you look at the history of this entire geopolitics, by and large we have seen the the US allied Europe. They will make standards, they will make norms, they will make even standards of what human rights, and that they will spread and others follow. They speak, many others follow. This is something which cannot go on forever, because the kind of power which they have, which is fundamentally economic power, where Marx is right actually in this context, because economic substructure is real structure and all other funny things are superstructures. Marx is a structuralism, of course, which was applied by Louis Althusser. So this kind of structuralism of economic structure, US is still the world's largest economy, and that is a power, that is an authority. And that with that substructure, they can do a lot of things. Precisely, that's what is happening. So then, great nations are always from the East. That you cannot close your eyes to that fact that great nations are always from the East. Look at the world religions. All world religions in their entirety are from the East. There is no religion at all in the entire world which are not from the East. All religion belongs to East. Spirituality belongs to East. And I would say this, wisdom belongs to the East. Technology, cognitive studies, cognitive advancements, West must have made much later. But most of the people who work there also could have been from the East. So East has its own place in the cosmos and the world, of course, in the cosmos. So there is this movement against West in the East. And in the East, people are mostly sober and peace-loving and not quarrelsome, not aggressive. Look at the European world. If you talk about the past, before they had any civilization, they were great warriors fighting one another. Look at the Norse people, all this history, except Greece. Most of them were uncivilized for a long, long time, except Greece. And even Greek civilization began much later. So, there is a place called as Asia. There are places called as Bharat, China, and also Mongolia, and also Russia, etc., etc., etc. There is a possibility of a nexus between. I've told this before. Russia, Bharat, China. It should be Bharat, Russia, China. We would like to look at it in that way. They wanted to have a kind of understanding one another, and this one thing is very obvious and evident, that if they are together, if these three nations are together, they can become very formidable power. Now, why should they become a formidable power is a very serious question. Bharat would like to see such power in a particular direction. Russia would like to see the power in a different direction, and China would see that power in different directions. So these three directions can't meet eyes together. Let's see why Bharat wants to be authority and power. If Bharat becomes power, it's only for number one, self-reliance, number two, for the people of Bharat to have a comfortable life. But certainly not as aggressors to others' property, others' anything. We have never taken anything that belongs to someone else, and we would never want anything that belongs to somebody else. We should only need facilities and environment and atmosphere from where we can create our own things as we want for our own needs. Simple as that for Bharat. Russia also do not want external interference in their matters of fact. They have also no ambitions of borders, widening border ambitions, they also don't have. They want to be powerful because they should remain powerful. No one else would go and enter into their matter of facts and matter of affairs and things. But in case of China, the whole thing is different. They would want to expand themselves. I don't know. It's already a very big nation. I don't know how far they want to expand their territories. They want all the naval places for themselves. They would start making claims for places. Even in places like Bharat, Arunachal, they say it's ours. There are all these problems there. They want to expand themselves, number one. Number two, it's a dictatorial regime. China is a dictatorial regime, and the democracy and democratic ethics and democratic principles simply don't work there. Their workforces are only paid at the whims of the government. You have no right, you cannot ask for anything. Though they claim and themselves to be communists, of course, communism is far flung in China. They have really nothing to do with communism, and they have really nothing to do with Marx. And if Marx has never seen these people, he himself would have come and put 10 liters of petrol and burn the people entirely. That would have been the attitude of Marx, given using their name as Marxism, communism, whatever. So that's a dictatorial regime where they have a political party and they have the power, they enjoy the power, and they live in great luxury. Like the Pakistani politicians live. The Pakistan is a poor nation, you see, but the Pakistani politicians live in great luxury. Great luxury, because they are not sweating for it. They just get things free. Same is the case with any dictatorial regime. They don't work for it. They get things free, and they have no regret in spending for what they have not earned, because they have not earned. They don't know the pain of working and making a living. They don't know, they don't understand, they have never done it, so they will squander wealth at their whims and fancies and think that that's life. So these three nations don't have a common interest, and explicitly no one can trust China. Neither Bharat nor Russia can trust China, and China obviously may not be able to trust anybody else in the world. Like we can't trust the United States. Everyone knows that no one can trust the United States. But then not trusting the United States and not trusting China are two different things. The US of course betrays, but China betrays more seriously. China betrays right from behind. Of course, all these betrayals are from back. The US lets you down. Pakistan has no option because they live by US betrayal. And Pakistan has no national interest. They have their personal interest, the political leaders. So they are comfortable with the betrayal of US because they are not concerned with their land. They don't love their land. For them, they love their religion, which does not belong to their land. They think that they belong to that religion, which really is not the case. And they think that loving their religion is sufficient and not loving their land. So they are not united. They think that religion can unite them, but not. The land should have united them, and that land cannot unite them. They are already in different parts. The point is that these Bharat, Russia, China kind of nexus could be a dream for someone who has very serious interest. But if it really happens in a selfless manner, in a true give and take manner, real trade relations, that's the only thing possible, a real trade relations for some time. If it happens, then these three people can become very powerful in the world and can speak about things in a formidable manner. But that's not going to work out. It's a least possible alliance. It's a most impossible alliance. But if they are together, of course there will be wonders. But then really, that's very far-flung thing, not really possible. So we shall meet again with some other thought. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.